Welcome to Private Stories, where people discover who they really are. It was a Tuesday evening in Denver, Colorado. The mountains were barely visible through the gray winter haze. The house felt warm but hollow. I was standing alone in the kitchen we redesigned together 3 years ago. White marble countertops, matte black fixtures, pendant lights she insisted were imported from Italy. Madison always said the kitchen needed to feel like a magazine spread. She never cooked. She preferred ordering sushi or artisan salads and posting them online. I was cleaning out a drawer, not because it needed cleaning, but because something in me had been restless for weeks. You know that quiet feeling, when nothing is wrong, yet everything feels slightly misaligned. Old receipts, expired coupons, takeout menus. Then I saw it. A receipt folded twice, pressed flat as if someone did not want it to wrinkle. Aurora Prime, 2 glasses of Cabernet Reserve, oysters on ice, tomahawk steak, truffle risotto, chocolate soufflé, dinner for 2. 11 days ago. 11 days ago she told me she was stuck at a branding presentation. I remember that night clearly. She came home late, hair slightly messy, lipstick lighter than when she left. She said the client was exhausting. She did not kiss me. She went straight to the shower. Standing there with that receipt in my hand, I did not feel rage. I felt recognition, like a missing puzzle piece clicking into place. For months she had been different, subtle at first. She stopped leaning into me when we watched movies. She started sleeping closer to the edge of the bed. She changed her phone password. She bought lingerie that never made it to our bedroom. Deep emerald silk, black lace, wine-colored satin. I thought maybe she wanted to feel confident. Maybe she was going through something. I gave her space. That was my first mistake. Madison Blake, 34 years old. Long copper hair that fell in soft waves down her back. Light green eyes that could look innocent or calculating depending on what she needed. Porcelain skin. Sharp cheekbones. She moved like someone who always expected to be watched. And I did watch her. I just did not see. Sunday morning. Sunlight through the blinds. Coffee between us. She stood across the marble island wearing one of my oversized shirts. Bare legs. Hair falling over one shoulder. I want to live for myself, she said. Without you. No hesitation. No apology. Her voice was steady. Controlled. Almost rehearsed. I studied her face. There was no sadness there. Only relief. Like someone finally dropping a heavy secret. Then you and I replied. Just not in my house. And not on my money. Her expression shifted. First confusion. Then shock. Then something darker. Fear. That is not what I meant, Ryan. But it was exactly what she meant. She just assumed I would beg. She assumed I would try to win her back. She assumed I would fight to keep her. Instead, I gave her the door. That night, the house felt unfamiliar. Like we were actors waiting for a script. Madison moved through the rooms slowly. Her silk robe brushing against the hardwood floors. Phone always in her hand. Screen lighting up her pale face in the dark. She kept typing. Deleting. Typing again. I watched without watching. You learn a lot when you stop reacting. Around midnight she went to shower. Steam filled the hallway. Her perfume mixed with eucalyptus soap. I walked into the living room, picked up her old tablet from the bookshelf. She had not touched it in months, or so she thought. It was still synced, still connected, still careless. I did not rush. I sat down, opened it calmly. The first message thread was pinned. Carter Vale. His profile picture showed a man with a sculpted jaw. Dark hair styled perfectly. Gym-defined shoulders under a tight black shirt. The type of man who posts motivational quotes and shirtless progress photos. The kind of man who looks temporary. Their messages stretched back 7 months. 7 months of lies layered neatly between good morning texts to me. Wednesdays. Wine tastings. Private art shows. Fridays. Hotel confirmations. Downtown suites. Rooms booked under Blake Cole. My last name. Her choice. There were pictures. Nothing explicit, but intimate enough. her bare shoulder, his hand on her waist, her laugh in a dim restaurant. I read one message twice. He is stable but predictable. He always pays. He always forgives. He does not even notice when I pull away. I leaned back in the chair. My chest did not tighten. My hands did not shake. It was worse than anger. It was clarity. She did not cheat because she was lost. She cheated because she believed she could. Because I was safe. Because I was dependable. Because I loved her loudly and she loved attention quietly. When she stepped out of the shower, hair wet, wrapped in a white towel, she looked almost fragile. "Ryan, are you coming to bed?" she asked softly. I held up the tablet. I know about Carter. The silence that followed was surgical, precise, controlled. She did not gasp, did not cry. She stared at the screen, then at me. "You went through my things. You lied for 7 months," I replied. Her jaw tightened. "It is not serious. I do not love him." There it was again. As if love was the only boundary. "You used my name for hotel rooms. You let him touch you. You let him believe you were free." She crossed her arms. "You have been suffocating me. Everything with you is planned, structured, safe. I needed something spontaneous." I almost smiled. Spontaneous. Like betrayal was a hobby. Then go be spontaneous, Madison. Be unpredictable. Be wild. Just do it somewhere else. Her green eyes flashed. "You are overreacting." Am I? 7 months. 43 hotel nights. 12 wine tastings. 3 birthdays. 2 holidays. She did not deny it. She only said, "You were not supposed to find out like this. Not supposed to." That sentence said everything. She did not regret the affair. She regretted losing control of the narrative. She walked past me, shoulders stiff. "You are twisting this. I am not leaving. This is my house too." "Not anymore," I said quietly. And that was when the first crack appeared in her confidence. Her breathing changed. Faster. Less certain. "You would not actually do that," she said. "You would not destroy everything over one mistake." One mistake. 7 months. 43 nights. Hundreds of lies. I stood up slowly. Walked to the front door. Opened it. The cold Denver air rushed inside. "You asked for freedom. Here it is." She did not move. Because for the first time, she realized I was not bluffing. She did not walk out. That was the part she had not rehearsed. Instead, she shifted tactics. The next morning she woke up early. Earlier than usual. I heard dishes clinking downstairs. Coffee brewing. Music playing softly. When I came into the kitchen, she was standing by the stove. Barefoot. Wearing a soft gray sweater that slid slightly off one shoulder. Her copper hair falling in loose waves down her back. She looked warm, approachable, familiar, like the woman I married. "I made your favorite breakfast," she said gently. "Omelet with goat cheese. Fresh squeezed orange juice. Sourdough toast." She placed a mug in front of me. The one with the chipped handle I refused to throw away. I did not sit. I placed a manila envelope on the marble counter. "Between us." "What is this?" she asked. "Reality," I replied. Inside were printed statements. Property deed. Investment accounts. Retirement funds. Business holdings. Everything. Highlighted. Organized. Prepared. "I have already spoken to an attorney," I said. "Separation of assets begins this week. The house is in my name. The primary accounts are in my name. The joint card is being frozen today. You wanted independence. This is your head start." Her fingers trembled slightly as she flipped through the pages. "You actually went that far." "Yes." Her green eyes lifted slowly. "Ryan, this is extreme." "No. 7 months is extreme." She set the papers down carefully. "You are punishing me." I shook my head. "No. I am protecting myself." There was a long silence. The kind that feels heavy in your ears. Then the tears came. Not loud. Not dramatic. Silent. Slipping down her porcelain cheeks. "I did not think you would actually stop loving me," she whispered. "I did not," I answered. "I stopped letting you weaponize it." She moved closer. Close enough that I could smell her perfume. The expensive one she only wore for evenings out. Please, she said softly. We can fix this. I ended it with Carter. I blocked him. It was a mistake. A phase. A distraction. You are my husband. Her hand reached for mine. Warm. Familiar. Calculated. I stepped back. You did not end it. I discovered it. There is a difference. Her composure cracked then. Why are you being so cold? Because you were not cold when you lied. You were warm. You were smiling. You were sleeping next to me. After being with him. That landed. She looked away. For the first time she looked ashamed. But shame is not the same as remorse. You do not understand, she said. I felt invisible. Invisible. I redesigned this house for you. I funded your boutique startup. I supported every idea. Every trip. Every luxury. Invisible. She slammed her hand lightly on the counter. I needed to feel wanted. You always acted like I would never leave. Because I trusted you. That is not arrogance. That is commitment. Her breathing grew uneven. You are throwing away 9 years over pride. No. You threw it away over attention. Another long silence. Then she shifted again. Fine. If that is how you want to do this, we will do it properly. She walked upstairs. An hour later she returned with a folder. Typed pages. Conditions. Couples therapy. Trial separation while cohabiting. Financial transparency both ways. Weekly emotional check-ins. This is not a letter, I said. This is a contract. I am trying to save us, she replied. No. You are trying to keep comfort. Her eyes narrowed. If you cut me off financially, I will have nothing. There it was. The real fear. Not losing me. Losing security. You had someone else, I said quietly. That was your safety net. Go to him. Her face went pale. It is not like that. Is it not? Does he know the house you met in was funded by the man you call suffocating? Does he know you booked hotel rooms with my last name? She said nothing. I picked up the envelope again. You have until tonight. Decide. You leave. Or I do. I grabbed the dog leash. As I stepped outside, the cold air hit my lungs sharply. For the first time in months, I felt awake. When I returned an hour later, the house was too quiet. Not peaceful. Suspended. Like it was waiting for a verdict. The lights were dim. Curtains half drawn. Madison was sitting on the edge of our bed, holding our wedding album. Her posture was smaller, less commanding. Her copper hair slightly messy. Mascara faintly smudged beneath her green eyes. You remember this day, she said without looking up. Of course I do. You were shaking when you said your vows. You dropped the ring. It slipped because you grabbed my hand too fast. She let out a soft breath that almost sounded like a laugh. Nostalgia can be dangerous. It makes betrayal feel distant. It makes lies feel temporary. She stood slowly and walked toward me, barefoot on the hardwood. I wrote something, she said. She handed me a folded paper. I opened it. It was not emotional. It was strategic. She outlined a structured reconciliation. 6 months of therapy. Financial rebuilding plan. Public commitment to restart. Agreement to cut off all external contacts. Joint review of future goals. Every line carefully crafted. This is negotiation, I said calmly. It is survival, she answered. If you remove me financially, I collapse. There it was again. Not heartbreak. Fear of instability. Madison, you did not fear collapsing when you were in his arms. Her jaw tightened. It was not like that. He made me feel alive. Alive. So I was what? Furniture. Routine. Safety. You were safe, she said. Predictable. Stable. I nodded slowly. Exactly. She stepped closer. Her voice softer now. Ryan, please. Do not destroy us over ego. This is not ego. This is consequence. Her breathing quickened. If I leave, I have nowhere to go. Go to him. She hesitated. That hesitation told me everything. I turned and walked out of the bedroom. The next morning, I finalized the last steps. Bank cards frozen. Joint access revoked. Liquid funds redistributed. Attorney notified. When I placed the confirmation papers on the kitchen counter, she was standing there in silence. "You actually did it," she whispered. "You thought I would not." Her hand began to shake. The coffee in her mug rippled. "Carter left," she said suddenly. I looked up. "What?" He said this was too complicated. He did not know I was married at first. When he found out about the separation, he said he does not want drama. I said nothing. Reality had finally caught up to fantasy. "You are all I have," she said. That sentence should have made me feel powerful. Instead, it made me feel exhausted. "I was never supposed to be your last option." Tears streamed down her face. "Not polished. Not controlled. Raw. I made a mistake," she said. "I was selfish. I thought you would never actually walk away." There it was. The truth. She did not believe I had boundaries. I walked to the front door, opened it slowly. The cold Denver air rushed inside again. "You asked for a life without me. This is it." She stood frozen, hair falling around her shoulders, face pale, eyes wide. "Please do not do this," she whispered. "I am not doing this." "You did." She picked up a small suitcase. Not glamorous, not dramatic, just heavy. As she stepped past me, she paused. "Ryan, do you ever think we could start over?" I looked at her one last time, at the woman who once felt like my future, and now felt like a lesson. Love without respect becomes permission, and I will never give that again. She walked out. The door closed gently. No slam, no shouting, just finality. 2 weeks later, a letter arrived. Carter wrote 4 short lines. He claimed he did not know she was married. He said she told him I was controlling. He apologized. No number, no signature, just distance. I did not respond. Instead, I stood in the kitchen. The same marble, the same lights, but it felt different. Not hollow, not tense, clear. For the first time in 9 years, I was not adjusting myself to keep someone else comfortable. I was not guessing, not shrinking, not excusing. I sat down at the island, ran my hand across the cold surface, and realized something simple. She thought love made me weak. What she never understood was that self-respect makes a man unmovable. The house was quiet, but it was mine, my space, my air, my future, and for the first time in a long time, I could breathe fully. The end of story. Short's version. She said she wanted freedom. Turns out she already had another man for 7 months. Hotel rooms under my name. Money I earned. She thought I would beg. Instead, I froze the accounts, separated everything, and opened the door. 2 weeks later, her lover left her, and she came back crying. But some doors do not reopen. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Visit our channel for interesting and intriguing stories.